The duo of Peter Cook and Dudley Moore are astoundingly funny. And they were never afraid to be obscure, which was good. Their comedy's not angry. It may be cruel, but it's never like really sadistic or violent. There's something really charming and whimsical about it that always saves it from going over the edge. Well, there is a great tradition of English comedy that I'm sure goes back hundreds of years, English music hall, but got refined really starting in the 50s with Peter Sellers and Spike Milligan. They did something called The Goon Show, which was like the first like radical approach to comedy on the radio. It was a radio program on BBC. And that inspired a generation of young British humorists who pretty much became the Beyond the Fringe company, which was Peter Cook and Dudley Moore and Michael Bennett. But Peter Cook and Dudley Moore were the breakout stars. They were just incredibly funny. The record albums of Beyond the Fringe and Behind the Fridge, which was the sequel, are astoundingly funny. And then there's a set of bootleg tapes, the Pete and Dud stuff, which is kind of crude. It influenced everyone who heard it. And then the Monty Python Company is a genuine outgrowth of the Beyond the Fringe tradition. The level of reference is really high. I think everyone, should know that comedy because it's just so smart, the things that are referred to. Peter Cook is the John Lennon of the team, and Dudley Moore is the Paul McCartney. He's soft, he's cuddly and lovable. And Peter Cook is sharp and acerbic. Weird. Peter Cook was a fairly weird guy. He just radiated a kind of intellect, and Dudley Moore sometimes played against it, although they could both play the other, too. They could play idiots as well as they could play geniuses. Apparently Dudley Moore was just, a really likable guy. Yes, Dudley Moore's a victim, but we're never really worried about him. I mean, he always seems to land on his feet. We perceive he's got a good heart, and in the end he's going to get what he wants or what he needs. Nor do we hate Peter Cook as the devil. He's not such a horrible... he does these nasty things that even he knows are pathetic, but it's his job. He's scratching records.
Exactly.
Clipping the buttons off shirts before they come back from the laundry.
Oh, can't you stop?
It's a compulsion. I'm compelled to. His orders.
Pathetic.
He moves in a very mysterious way,
He agrees. It's pathetic, but I've got to do it. That's what I do. And that's part of their facility. Is sometimes their material is remarkably dumb. It's as good as any dumb comedy we've embraced today, and other times it's just so smart you can't believe it.
Curious kind of cerebral captivity.
Fireflower, madam.
Oh, what's it for?
Depraved criminals.
Well, it was both a great showcase for Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, but it's a wonderful form for a film because it's completely episodic. Each wish has a different kind of setting and a different theme, and they get to play different characters in each wish. So it's really fun to watch in that sense. And it's kind of irreverent for its time. There's discussions of religion that are actually very British. Americans probably don't get jokes about the Church of England, inside jokes. But jokes about religion are kind of universal.
Come on, sweetie, let's dance. No, thank you.
They're tweaking it, and religion so much really deserves tweaking. The movie's satirically good on that level. And then there's just some outrageous good acting and funny behavior. One of my favorite wishes is when he sets it up, she loves me, I love her, we're married, and the devil makes, yes, they're in love, and yes, they're married, but not to each other.
Hello, darling.
Darling.
Each one was unique and wonderful. Yeah. Partly it's what works about the Faust story. Most people spend their lives in eternal longing, wishing they had something they're not going to get. And even when they get what they want, they find it's really fleeting and is not as satisfying as they hope. So I think a lot of people spend a considerable amount of time in this kind of wish state. And the story always has resonated for hundreds and hundreds of years of, what if the devil came along and, what deal would you make to get the things you wish for? For me, it's not really about God and the devil at all. It's about that most of us spend our time in kind of painful dissatisfaction, that we're not happy in ourselves, with our situation. Whatever we have, we're looking beyond to something that could be better. Well, if I have this much money, gee, I wish I had even more money, then I'd be even happier. Same with women. You get the woman of your dreams, and in an hour you're looking over her shoulder at someone who might be more interesting or attractive. Oddly enough, I ran into Raquel Welch during the making of the film, the remake of Bedazzled. I was in a restaurant, and the casting director I knew said, "Oh, Raquel Welch is there. She'd love to meet you." And I went to meet her, and we sat down. She said, "I love your work. I just love your work." And I said, "Wow, that's great. Thank you." She said, "Yes, I thought Darkman was a wonderful movie." And I thought, I think you're thinking I'm Sam Raimi, but I'm Harold Ramis. And she, of course, backtracked really fast. Oh, yeah, of course. Well, I love your work too, yeah. In a way, I aimed the remake of Bedazzled at teenagers because teenagers feel it more acutely than anyone, these deficits, feeling different or awkward. As we get older, maybe we adjust to these circumstances, but teenagers just seem so painful for them these days. So it's that constant dissatisfaction that drives people, and a very wise person said to me, you can never get enough of what you don't really need. And I thought that was profound and is related to this, because every time the characters in either movie get what they think they want, it's not perfect and it doesn't really work, and there's complicating factors.